Dr. Hunt, can you give us a brief synopsis of your educational background, please? Yes, I'm a physician. I'm an internist in private practice. Doctor, are you also the medical director of 2 nursing homes in Connecticut? Yes, that's right. Would you tell the members of the jury where you went to medical school? I went to the University of Connecticut School of Medicine. And doctor, where did you go to undergraduate school? I went to Williams College in Massachusetts. What was your major at Williams? It was in biology. Defendant's counsel, is this witness licensed? Plaintiff's counsel, I will get to that. Give me a chance, will you? The court, let counsel conduct his direct examination in his own way. Doctor, are you licensed to practice medicine? Yes, I am. When were you so licensed? That would have been 1985. Tell us about your training after you graduated. I did a 4-year residency in internal medicine. In order to cut to the chase, are you the medical director of 2 nursing homes at this time, doctor? Yes. Doctor, before you became medical director, were you affiliated with nursing homes in general? Yes, I started to see patients in nursing homes when I first went into practice, as I recall. Do you recall a private practice? I do quite a substantial one, yes. Doctor, did you ever have any teaching appointments as a physician? Defendant's counsel, how does that bear on his qualifications, Your Honor? Plaintiff's counsel, I would submit it does have a bearing on his qualifications. The court, objection overruled. Answer the question as to whether you have any teaching positions. Yes. What are they? I'm an assistant clinical professor at Yale University. And what do you teach there? Internal medicine. Defendant's counsel, to save time, I am willing to concede the witness's qualifications as a physician. Plaintiff's counsel, no, I decline the offer. I want to put it on the record. The court, he declines your concession, counsel. Ask your next question. Doctor, are you board certified? Yes. And doctor, I notice on your CV that at one time you were a Peace Corps volunteer. Is that a correct statement or is it not a correct statement? Yes, it is correct. Where was that? On the Fiji Islands. How was that? It was quite an experience. In fact, that's what got me interested in medicine. Defendant's counsel, objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant and immaterial and incompetent. The court, I agree. Objection sustained. Doctor, did there come a time when you were contacted by our office to review the medical file with regard to the treatment of the patient, Mr. Graff, in this case? Yes, your office contacted me, I think in January of 2006. And did you provide a review and an opinion about the treatment of the patient by the defendant in this case? Yes, I did. What was that opinion, sir? I wrote a report and I spoke to you on the phone regarding my opinion that the defendant doctor was negligent in his care of the plaintiff, Mr. Graff. Let me ask you, doctor, have you ever testified on my behalf or on my firm's behalf before? No, I have not. Is this the first time you have actually done so? Yes, I believe so. Did your time and effort in being here today, are you being compensated, sir? Yes, sir. Now, I am going to ask you some questions with regard to the defendant doctor's treatment of the plaintiff, beginning with his admission on February 27th, 01. Go right ahead. Could you tell us about the treatment of Mr. Gray by the doctor in the nursing home? Yes. Mr. Gray was admitted and actually arrived at the facility on February 27th, and the doctor saw him a day later and did a history and physical. What did you glean from a reading of the history? The doctor omitted to look at or examine the decubitus ulcer. And what is your opinion as to that? That became more and more of a problem for Mr. Gray. In what way did it become more and more of a problem? Because he did not focus on the decubitus ulcer, and that's the name of the ulcer on his buttocks. It became a problem. Doctor, do you have an opinion with a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to whether or not the failure of the defendant doctor to examine the decubitus ulcer on the 27th of February 2001 constituted a deviation from the accepted standard of care in the community? Defendant's counsel. Objection to the form of the question, Your Honor. The court. I see nothing wrong with the form. Overruled. Yes, it was definitely a deviation. Why is that? It was below the standard of care. Defendant's counsel. Move to strike. The court. No. Overruled. Doctor, tell us a little more about the examination by the doctor on the 28th. Just keep your voice up a tad. He did write down a number of things on his exam, but he omitted looking at the sacral decubitus. Did he make note of the fact that the patient had a heel ulcer? Yes, and that turned out not to be a problem. Doctor, could you tell us what the doctor should have done on this first examination? Yes, I will. He arrived with a deep ulcer from his previous hospitalization at St. Francis after his heart surgery. It was a stage 4 ulcer. Defendant's counsel. Objection as not responsive. It is not germane and it is immaterial, Your Honor. The court. No, I disagree. Objection overruled. It is preliminary and he is working up to the answer. When he was admitted to the nursing home, there were no offers at all given for the ulcer for the first 2 days. Doctor, do you have an opinion with a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to whether the failure of the doctor to examine the decubitus ulcer on February 21st, March 1st, and March 19th constituted a deviation from the accepted standard of care in the community? Yes, I do have an opinion. And what is the opinion, doctor? That it was the cause of the ulcer getting worse.